Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed with the managerial remuneration calculation at least or shall not exceed 11% of the net profits. If in case more than two full-time director, one managing director, or a manager is there in a company. If any one full-time director or the managing director or the manager, then only 5% need to be taken care. Otherwise, if more than two director or two directors are there, two whole-time directors are there, other than that, nobody is there, then 10% of the net profit. Otherwise, all other cases shall not exceed 11% of the net profit. This is we see in the previous class regarding managerial remuneration, and also we need to take the net profit, some items to be added and some items to be deducted, and then we are getting the net profit after adjusting these things, and based on that we are, as the case may be, if it is one director 5%, two director 10%, or more than two director, like that is the situation, then shall not exceed 11% of the net profit to be calculated for which one? The managerial remuneration. Next, we see in the class regarding profit prior to incorporation. Before the registration, the profit is to be calculated based on the sales ratio and the time ratio. So better you need to know what is a sales ratio and what is a time ratio. So the difference between the time gap of the, what is that? The business dealings. Maybe in the question it is given as for the 1 year, the first 4 months profit is this. Oh, sorry, sales is this. Okay, out of the total sales, the suppose 10 lakh is the sales, the first or 1 lakh is the sales, the first 4 months is 40,000. So the rest how much? 60,000. 60 and is to 40. 40 is to 60. 4 is to 6 ratio. That is the sales ratio. And also first 4 months, then the rest how many months? 8 months. So 4 is to 8 is the time ratio. Based on this, we are calculating the profit prior to incorporation. So that is the case. Yesterday we see, or we did discussed with the regarding the profit prior to incorporation and how the calculation is to be done. Like we need to calculate the sales ratio and the profit, time ratio firstly, and based on that we need to apportion some of the items. Some of the items in the sense means the items in the P&L account that is to be what apportioned among these two ratios, like before the registration and after the registration. So before the registration and after the registration, what is that? There we calculate the based on the sales ratio and the time ratio different expenses like gross profit. So gross profit based on the sales ratio. Then direct expenses also shown on the sales ratio, isn't it? So in such a way, some items need to be apportioned on the basis of the time ratio and some items to be apportioned on the basis of the sales ratio. Then the difference between both the sides for the two columns, like on both the sides there is before the registration period and after the registration period. Okay, so pre and post, or pre and after. Angane we see or we discussed with the profit prior to incorporation. And next regarding with this profit prior to incorporation is the weighted ratio. What is a weighted ratio? And with that, we are going to conclude the third module 3B, that is managerial remuneration and profit prior to incorporation. So today we see what is a weighted ratio and what are the problems with regard to weighted ratio. So we will check it, that weighted ratio. And do as much as problems in the practice problem like that, because already there's a shortage of time, so I am skipping to the next portion. So do it by yourself, the practice problems. If any doubt, please let me know. So today we will see what is a weighted ratio. So weighted ratio. Certain expenses such as rent, wages, salaries, insurance, depreciation, etc. do not remain the same throughout the year. So maybe there is some changes. By the conversion of a business into a company, the amount of wages, salaries, etc. change due to the employment of more laborers. കൂടുതൽ ആൾക്കാരെ അതിനകത്ത് എംപ്ലോയ് ചെയ്യുന്നതായിട്ട് വരുന്നുണ്ട്, അതായത് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ദ എമൗണ്ട് ഓഫ് വേജസ്, സാലറീസ് എക്സെട്ര ചേഞ്ച് ബിക്കോസ് ഇന്ന് വരുന്ന വർക്കേഴ്സ് ആയിരിക്കില്ല ചിലപ്പം 2 ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞ് വരുന്നത്, കൂടുതൽ ചിലപ്പം ആൾക്കാർ വരാം. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയുള്ള കേസുകളുണ്ട്. സോ ഡ്യൂ ടു ദ എംപ്ലോയ്മെന്റ് ഓഫ് മോർ ലേബേഴ്സ്, ദ പേയ്മെന്റ് ഓഫ് റെന്റ് മേ ബി ഇൻക്രീസ് ഡ്യൂ ടു occupying the more area, or the insurance may be increased due to increase in average value of stock. Depreciation may be increased on acquiring the more capital goods, etc. In such cases, weighted ratios are preferred to implement the time ratios. Instead of time ratios, weighted ratios are used because ഓരോ ഇതിനും കൂടുതലായിട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഇത് വരിക, സപ്പോസ് കൂടുതൽ വർക്കേഴ്സ് വരിക, അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, എമൗണ്ട് ഓഫ് വേജസ് ആൻഡ് സാലറീസ് വിൽ ബി ഇൻക്രീസ്ഡ്. പിന്നെ രണ്ടാമത്തെ കേസ് പേയ്മെന്റ് ഓഫ് റെന്റ്, ദാറ്റ് ഓൾസോ ടു ബി ഇൻക്രീസ് ഡ്യൂ ടു ദി മോർ ഓക്കുപ്പൈങ് ഏരിയ. ദെൻ ഇൻഷുറൻസ്, ഇറ്റ് മേ ബി ഇൻക്രീസ് ഡ്യൂ ടു ദി ഇൻക്രീസ് ഇൻ ദ ആവറേജ് വാല്യൂ ഓഫ് സ്റ്റോക്ക്. അതായത് സ്റ്റോക്ക് കൂടുതലായിട്ട് സ്റ്റോർ ചെയ്യുന്നെങ്കിൽ അത് അപ്പം കൂടുതൽ സ്ഥലം വേണം, അപ്പൊ എന്താ അതിന്റെ ഇൻഷുറൻസ് കൂടും. അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ ഐറ്റംസും ഓക്കെ, ഇങ്ങനെ ഓരോന്നും ഇത് കൂടുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ ഈ ടൈം റേഷ്യോയുടെ സ്ഥാനത്ത് വെയ്റ്റഡ് റേഷ്യോസ് ആണ് what is to be that is utilized. So that is the weighted ratio. So what are the weighted ratio that we need to check it? From the following particulars, calculate the weighted time ratio for the pre and post incorporation period and share the salaries accordingly. So accounting period is 1st January to 31st December, 12 months. Date of incorporation 1st May. The total salaries for the year 14 lakh. Salaries, it is 14 lakh. Then total number of workers is for the pre-incorporation period, this before the registration period, it is 5, and after the registration period, it is 15. So, ഇതാണ് weighted ratio. നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് എന്നുള്ളത് വെയ്റ്റഡ് റേഷ്യോ ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കുകയാണ്. അതായത് ഇവിടെ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ടൈം റേഷ്യോ വെച്ച്, സിമ്പിൾ ടൈം റേഷ്യോ ഓർ ടൈം റേഷ്യോ വെച്ച് ഇവിടെ നോക്കിക്കേ, 1st Jan till 31st December ഇതാണ് വർക്കിംഗ് പീരീഡ്. ഇതില് എന്താണ് 1st മെയിലാണ് എന്ത് വരുന്നത്, registration or incorporation വരുന്നത്. So Jan, Feb, March, April, 4 months are there. Out of the 12 months, 4 months is the pre-incorporation period, and after the incorporation period, how many months? 8 months, isn't it? 8 months is there. So we need to check in that way, that is the time ratio is 4:8 or 1:2. 1:2 ആണ് എന്തെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ടൈം റേഷ്യോ വരുന്നത്. ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. 1st January to 31st December, that is the working period, accounting period. Out of that, 1st May is the registration period. So that simple time ratio, or as per the time ratio, it is 4:8. 4 months pre-incorporation period, 8 months after the incorporation period. So 4:8. It becomes 1:2. 4-ne common factor എടുത്താൽ 1:2. അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാമല്ലോ എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Then number of workers is what? 5:15. So multiply it with these two. So that is the weighted time ratio is equal to 5 into 1 is to 15 into 2. 5 into 1 is to, or 1 into 5 is to, ഇതിനെ ഇതുകൊണ്ട് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യണം. അല്ല, ഇതിനെ ഇതുകൊണ്ട് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യണം. അതായത് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സിന്റെ റേഷ്യോ കൊണ്ട് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യണം. സോ 1 into 5 is to 2 into 15. That is how much? 5 is to 30. That is 1 is to 6. Isn't it? 1 is to 6. Then the total salaries to be shared in the ratio The total salaries to be shared in the ratio 1:6 means 1/7 and 6/7. അതാണ് ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞത്. Total salaries to be worked out in the ratio 1/7 and 6/7. So total salary is how much? 14 lakh. This 14 lakh is to be shared among 1:6 ratio. That is pre-incorporation period, that is 1/7, and post-incorporation period it is 6/7. So pre-period it is 14 lakhs into 1/7, and here post it is 14 lakh into 6/7. So 7 2s are 14, isn't it? So 7 then 2. It is 2 lakh is to 12 lakh. See, 2 is to 12 ratio. So 2 lakh and 12 lakh. So rupees and rupees. So pre-period is what? How much? 2 lakh. How it is to be? 14 lakh into 1/7. How the 1/7 is to be? 1:6 ratio. This is the pre and this is the post. Then this is how much? 14 lakh into 6/7. That is 12 lakh. Rupees. So in this way, we are calculating the weighted time ratio. Weighted time ratio. Weighted time ratio is nothing but we need to take the simple time ratio and multiply it with the what is the situation there. If that situation there is number of workers. So that number of workers is to be multiplied with the simple time ratio. We will get weighted time ratio, and based on that, we are sharing or apportioning the item. So that is the first question. Second is what? A company was incorporated on 1st April 2017. 1st April 2017 to take over the business of a partnership firm from 1st January 2017. Following relate to the business. Accounting year 1st January to 31st December. So it is what? So 12 years, 12 months. Then amount of rent paid is 2 lakh. Area occupied up to 1st April 8,000 and from 1st April 24,000. So in the base area occupied is up to 1st April, that is before the incorporation period. So January to 1st April, 1, 2, 3, 3 months are there, isn't it? So 1st January to 31st March is how much? 3 months. So 3:9, that is the time ratio, isn't it? So in that way, we are calculating this. Okay, we will check how it is to be. See, simple time ratio is equal to 3:9, that is 1:3. 1:3. Then area occupied 8,000 is to 24,000. That is equal to 1,000 is to 3,000. Correct? That is also 1:3. 1:3. 1:3 ആയി. ഇനി എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? Weighted time ratio is equal to multiply this with that. So how much? 1 into 1 is equal to 3 into 3. Is equal to 1:9. Then rent amount is how much? 2 lakh. That is to be multiplied with the pre-period. How much it is? 2 lakh into 1/10, and post period is equal to 2 lakh into 9/10. So how it is to be? Here it is 5 lakh. So how it is to be coming? 2 lakh into 1/10. Yes, in this way. So 20,000 is the first case and 18,000 is the not 18,000, 1,80,000 is the, what is that? 9 2s are 18. So 1,80,000 is the second case. So how much? For the pre-period, it is 220,000. How it is to be calculated? The pre-period, 2 lakh is the amount for the rent that is to be apportioned. So for the pre-period means before the registration period, that is the first 3 months, 2 lakh into 1 by 10, 20,000. Then either you can take it 2 lakh minus 20,000, then post period amount will come. Otherwise, 2 lakh into 9 by 10, so it is 1 lakh 80,000. So in this way, we need to calculate what? The the weighted time ratio. So here only need to calculate the simple time ratio and what is the area, multiply both, then we get that is the weighted time ratio and apply it. Okay, then another question. From the following, calculate the weighted time ratio for the pre and post incorporation period. Accounting period 1st January to 31st December. Accounting period is 1st January to 31st December. Date of getting the certificate of incorporation 1st April. So like the same 3 months. So 3:9, that is the simple time ratio. And date of getting the total insurance paid for the year 7,000. Amount of stock. Insurance in endinte baseilana stock alle. Stock cheyunnadinte baseilana insurance. So pre-incorporation period 6 lakh. Post-incorporation period 12 lakh. That before and after. 6:12 എന്നുള്ളത് അതിന്റെ ratio. So multiply with this. So weighted time ratio, how to calculate? Simple time ratio is equal to how many months? 3:9. That is 1:3. Then next is what? Ratio of stock held. That is equal to how much? 6 lakh is to 12 lakh. So 6 is to 12, that is also 1:2. 1:2. Then we need to calculate the weighted time ratio, that is 1:1:3:2. So it is 1:, how much? 6. So 1/7 and 6/7 we need to multiply with the or take the apportion. So insurance amount is how much? 7,000. Pre-period is 7,000 into 1/7. So 1,000. And post period is 7,000 into 6/7. So it is 6,000. 1,000 and 6,000. In this way, we are calculating the what is the profit prior to incorporation due to the amount we need to calculate before the thing and after the thing, before the registration and after the registration. So with that, we conclude the third module B, section B, third module, that is managerial remuneration and profit prior to incorporation. So please do as much as problems. Because of the shortage of time, I can't do more problems. So we will go to the next module next day. So please clear your doubts as and when occurred for the today's class as well as the previous classes also. And please see the video after uploading and please confirm. So thank you for the day.